Welcome to the Tell Me Something Good podcast. I'm your host, Jelly.
And I'm your host, Jackie. This is a podcast where we talk about self-development, experiences, and lessons that we learned along the way.
So today we're going to be talking about self-worth.
Yes.
I'm nervous about this episode.
Me too.
We were supposed to have a guest, but that fell through. So this was kind of a...
where we're at in the moment type of thing. We were talking about it before we started the cameras, and I'm like, she was like, we should just talk about this. I'm like, yeah, we should have turned the cameras on for this. But yeah, we'll talk about self-worth and kind of how it keeps us from doing a lot of things.
Yeah, because
it controls us in a way.
This will probably be posted around New Year, maybe right before or during. So yeah, we just want to start the new year with that. And before that, we're going to get into our something good. So tell me something good, Jackie.
Something good is that we're in the holidays, like Christmas is next week, and I feel like everyone's just in a great, jolly mood. I'm not kidding. I just feel like everyone's like, hello, Merry Christmas. Like, and I just love it. I love that. And I don't know, I just feel like a lot of people that I've came across in the last week, I've just been in such a like cheerful, happy mood. I haven't got triggered by any strangers. So
I think for me, the older I get, the more I like I don't know how to explain it. As a kid, I loved it, but it's a different kind of love now as an adult.
Yes.
And it just hits different. And yeah, I feel like there's just so much going on in the world that I'm like, I don't know, I want to be happy. So
yes. And it does make a difference. Like when you come across somebody and they're just in a good mood, like, hey, how are you doing? Like, you ready for the or whatever. You're just like, like they really took the time and effort to speak when they didn't have to, you know. But yeah, I just feel like, I don't know, I just love that as strangers we can bring somebody's mood up in some way just by being like in a good mood.
Yeah,
you know. And I've been working at the restaurant, and I promise, like, everyone's been in a good mood.
I love that. And that's when people usually are not good sometimes.
Yes, they've been in such a good mood. And even today, I had a table, my first table. The girl was so sweet. And you know what she told me? Actually, I just remember. That should have been my something good. She's like, we need more people like you on this earth. She's like, I get really nervous to order, and I don't really go out. But she's like, you really made me feel... And now, dude, that should have been my something good. Now I feel like not to brag, but that literally made my day, actually. And I was like, you just made my day, because you don't hear things like that. Like, and but she started my day off right. Like, you know what I mean? It's just been people that are just nice. Yeah. Really nice. So I don't know. Maybe I've just been very lucky this week. And I've just gotten...
I think it is Christmas.
The Christmas spirit. No Grinches around. Nothing.
I think the Grinch is misunderstood, but...
That's true. That is true. But that's my something good. Just that we're getting into the holidays, and it's just good to see people in a great mood. And yours?
Oh, like,
anyway, I'm just... All right, for real, what is your something good this week?
Mine is not that big of a deal, but I cut my hair. I went short.
I feel like you have had your hair short.
I went even shorter. Not like this short.
So you think I subconsciously thought your hair
You said it. I was like, did she notice or not?
No.
But I think it is like you can't really tell if...
Oh, wait. I was literally like... You know what you did this year? You cut your hair shorter, and I didn't...
But I have a couple times.
Yeah, but I feel like your hair has been short. But
Not
it looks
like
good. It looks really good.
Thank you. But I don't know if I was going through it, but I woke up... I've been talking about cutting it short for the longest, and I just woke up the other day and just went in the bathroom and cut it. I was
like... Did it yourself?
Yeah.
You're crazy. It looks good.
But I think it's very like... I'll talk about things forever, and then I'll be like, I just want it now. And I just went in there and cut it. And but I think I'm going to still go and get it touched up, maybe get a little bit of layers, but.
It looks good. I thought your hair was short though. Like now that I look at it, it does look more shoulder, like, but it looks good. It looks healthy.
Yeah. So I just did that for the new year and new birthday year and everything.
Yes.
But let's get into today's episode. I don't know.
Before we started the episode, we were talking about just, we kind of want to make it into a New Year's episode, but we also were kind of saying that we didn't really do much this year. But then I had to be like, girl, we have done some things, but what we mean by that is we haven't done things that we know we want to do, and that we know that
and we're capable of doing.
Yes, there's things that we're capable of doing, but we haven't done. And we were asking each other, like, why do we think we have not done it?
Yeah. Like, what's holding us back? Why do we talk about it? There's something that's like subconsciously there that we don't think about or see. So we kind of were like, what is it? And we're like, we just don't feel like we're worthy of the things that we desire for some reason.
Yeah, and it's so sad.
Yeah.
Because when did we get into this mindset that we weren't worthy of it? And I can tell you, there was a time in my life where I didn't have, like, I felt worthy of any and every great thing that existed on this earth. I would be like, I deserve everything. I am.
And that's what you attracted to.
Yes. You would literally be like, I attract, or you would just, and I think
it's
part
just
of
a way
me,
of being that you attracted.
and a part of me was so like into the law of attraction, but now it's like, how do we shift that with God in mind? But we have to be like, trust God and have faith. And I think that's what it comes down to. Like, we need to be more faithful.
Yeah.
Like, we need to have more faith in that we are worthy, that we are capable, because we really are. We have everything that we could need to do whatever we want.
And maybe it is things from the enemy that puts in our head, like, you're not good enough for you. Because I think for a while, even with podcasting, we struggled with thinking that we could be podcasters. Like, we would talk about it, but we just didn't see ourselves as that, which is why we never acted on it. And then now we're just like, it's like we were saying, it's a normal thing for us now. Just like, so you have to align yourself with the things that you want. And we've talked about how opportunities come with that too.
And even whenever we started it, we still didn't feel, we just did it. Like, we weren't like, oh, now we're good enough. Now we're worthy enough.
We did it even though we didn't, like, before every episode, we would be shaking, like, and we would have to redo it all the time. Like, let's start over, like, and you don't see that from the behind the scenes.
We'd have like breath work, like,
yeah.
Like,
sometimes we
breathe.
pray, like and sometimes courage feels like fear too. I saw that somewhere and I was like, that is so true.
Yeah.
But and I think, you just have to align with the things you want, because you're not going to get those things if you're not acting like you're worthy of them.
And one of the things that I've been doing, which I used to do this, I stopped doing it. It's just writing down affirmations and then saying them out loud. And it's crazy because at first you'll say them and you're like, I'm worthy, I am good enough. And then you're like, I am worthy, I am good enough. And some of the affirmations, because I just write whatever I'm feeling that day that I need to remind myself of. It is that I am worthy, I am good enough, I am deserving of the good things that life has to offer. And I think for so long this year we forgot. We forget that we do deserve it.
Yeah.
Maybe because in our career, we're still a little confused, or we're still trying to figure that out. So because we don't have that part of our life figured out, we might not feel worthy of anything else. Or
I think even like with the story of Christmas shows us that we're worthy, like how Jesus came into the world to die for us and do, like endure so much pain. And that reminds you like, oh, wow, I'm worthy. And I've done things, or I'm not perfect in any way, but like he thinks that I'm worth dying for,
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That is so true. And if we could just remember that.
There's a lot of affirmations in the Bible about being worthy and stuff.
Yes. And if like we just kind of have to rewire our brain to believe this, honestly. But your subconscious believes what you tell it. So if what we were doing before we started the podcast is like, we didn't really do much this year. Our mind thinks that we didn't do anything. We survived.
Yeah.
We went to work. How many hours of our life did we dedicate towards our job?
That is true.
We paid our bills. You kept a child alive. I'm sorry, but that is an accomplishment. Like, you fed your child, so there is things that we've done. Have we not maybe done the things that we wanted to do? That could be what it is that we feel like we haven't done, because we know that we're freaking capable of it.
That is very true.
But we have done things. And I think that this year was a year of lessons for me. I learned a lot about myself, and that I didn't feel worthy of having a partner that was good to me, because I'm myself. I'm probably having these doubts too with myself, so I've allowed things. And even in friendships, I've done this a lot, is I allow things because I don't feel worthy. I'm like, oh, well, this is what I get. But it's like, no, I can have the same respect and love that I give to somebody. I deserve it, if not better.
And I think that that's something that doesn't go away too, because that's something, like, I've been like, wow, I've been single forever. Like, am I not worthy? Like, even when you're single, you think that too. But it's like, I'm just like, no, like, I got to wait for whoever God has for me,
Mm-hmm. And reminding yourself that you are worthy of it. And I think when you start thinking, like, I am worthy of a good partner, I'm worthy of finding someone who truly loves me, then you start aligning yourself with people who maybe are going to lead you to that person. But we have to believe it. And I think at first we're not going to believe it. We're going to be like, I'm worthy. Like, that's how it starts. But the more you say it, the more you literally speak it out to God, the more you will believe it. I think, like, you will your subconscious is going to be like, wait, I am worthy. I am, like, capable. I am all these things that I've forgotten. But that's why they say affirmations and telling yourself these things is so important, because we are wiring our own brain every day with what we're thinking.
That is so true.
And how many negative thoughts do you think we've had this year?
So many.
Yeah.
Probably more negative than positive.
Yes. But the good thing is that we can literally change that at any moment. That is the great thing. And I don't know.
And I wonder what that comes from. Like, I think it's something, like, it goes back to us kids. Like, what? And it's something that we all can relate to kind of in some way, or some people. So I'm like, what happened to us as kids that made us adults that are like,
Or, okay, so if you say, like, I don't feel worthy, I'm going to ask you, like, what is worthy to you? So what is worthy to us, right?
I guess of having the things that I desire.
But at what point do you have to be to feel worthy of it? Like,
and I think that's where we confuse too. Is it worthiness is like we're worth it even if we accomplish nothing. Like, we're worthy. I don't know. Explain it.
Like, at what point are we going to feel worthy? Like, what do you have to accomplish?
And I don't think there's anything you can accomplish to be worthy.
No, it comes from inside.
Yeah.
It comes from you.
We're putting a box on worthiness of, like.
Yes. That is crazy.
But I think, like, me, it's like, oh, I haven't accomplished the things I want, so I'm not worthy of them. But it's like, that doesn't determine your worthiness.
It doesn't. Okay, let me ask you. I'm a coach right now.
You're giving me therapy.
Okay. Okay, you say this box. So what would it look like if you took the box away? Like, if we took the box away, like, I feel like there's just so many possibilities and capabilities that, dude, we could do if we put
probably
this box,
things we can't even imagine. Like, yeah.
Like, if we take this box of worthiness that, like, we're thinking, like, oh no, well, I don't know how to explain it, but we're thinking,
like, we think, like, whenever I accomplish this or I'm this, then I will feel worthy.
Yeah.
But it doesn't come from that.
It doesn't. Because there's going to be times where we accomplish something and we're going to be like, okay, now what?
And that has happened. Like, even with the podcast, we're like, oh, it's not. But it's like, we've accomplished a year of podcasting. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
And I'm reading, I wish I would have brought that. Oh my gosh, it's such a good book. I bought it for $5, and it is one of the most amazing books I've read. And she talks about how we have to be in alignment with our purpose, or we'll never feel like fully satisfied with anything. And our purpose has to be in some way helping others. It has to be. Like, if you're only doing it for yourself, you're never going to feel fulfilled. And until you've done something for others in some way, whatever it is that we're doing. And I think we're doing something.
Yeah.
And it might not feel like it sometimes because we talk about things, but I think we are doing something. And I think that even, we've said it before, even if we're not doing it and somebody watches it and they don't feel anything from these videos, we're doing it for ourselves. Yeah. For that inner child of ours that wanted so bad to start a podcast years ago, wanted to be on YouTube. We are on YouTube. And I think that we may not be where we want to be, but we're getting there. We're one step closer than we were a year ago. Last year we didn't have a podcast. Last year I didn't even want to be on camera. I didn't even want to do a photo shoot. Don't put me in front of no camera because I didn't feel confident. And now even this last year we've gotten more confident in our speaking and the way that we just let things say things.
And it has helped me like not really care as much what people think or. Like I did one episode with no makeup. Like I wouldn't, like back then I would not have posted it. Like and I was like, I really don't care. Like
because the message is more important. But we are worthy. We're worthy of 500,000 subscribers. We're worthy of 1 million subscribers. We are, and I think once we start shifting, and it can be scary because you're like, oh gosh, success. Yeah. What am I going to do whenever I get that busy and that successful? And sometimes we scare ourselves from being successful because we're like scared of it. We're literally scared of it.
Yeah, I think at least I see other people who get into the shit. I'm just like, I don't want that stress. But
hey, we gonna handle it when we get there.
Yeah. And I just, like we always say, like we just want to be genuine, and hopefully if we make mistakes, people will be like, well, they're just learning.
Yeah. And we will make mistakes. And the podcast that we literally shot this year, and I've said things about, I would never do that. And guess what? I have a confession. I did some of the things I said I wouldn't do because we're human.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, in that moment, I wouldn't do it. And then I'm like, crap. I'm like, I gotta.
Things happen.
But, like, when we were talking about, like, going through the phones.
But I think that's what makes us relatable. Like, we're not going to be like, oh, we everything we say, like, like, things change.
Yeah, we change, but
and we're just like, we're still learning. Maybe we had to learn that lesson again over and over and over. I'm just like,
and over and over. Oh, we're gonna be like, but like the over. I saw this TikTok that was like, you fucked me up one time, I might forgive you. If you do it twice, I might forgive you again. After the third time, I'm gonna forgive you again. And then she got to like the next time, she's like, after that, like, I might forgive you one more time. And I'm like, okay, no, we can't keep doing this. But that also goes back to self-worth.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I realized this year and it's, awareness is everything though. Because I'm like, God, thank you for this awareness. Because if I wasn't aware, I'd be stuck in this situation for like,
and maybe if you didn't have the podcast, you would
not be accountable for my actions. So
it has helped me too. I'm like, damn, I've been talking about it going to the gym. And I'm like, okay, everybody's gonna be like, this lying ass. But
you know what? Also, like, this is kind of vague, but I wash my face at night too, because I know that if I don't, I break out and I have to be on camera. Like, things that I know I need to be doing anyway. Yeah, having a podcast does help me be like, okay, Jackie, like, let's do this. Yeah, but it's funny though, because I'll go back to our old videos where we talk about like relationship advice or this advice, and I'm like, damn, I was preaching. Like, I need that. Like, I would listen to it myself and be like, okay, that was good. I need to listen to that. But we're human, guys. I've made some mistakes this year, and
you just didn't. You knew your worth, but you weren't aligned with.
I think I've known my worth, but when you are around someone who constantly like brings it down in some way with certain things or certain actions, you start questioning it. And there's a reason for that. But it's funny because we like did a whole episode on red flags. And honey, I ignored all that. There were some flags I didn't even know existed. But yeah, I think there's, and also another thing that, I mean, something up this year that I've also learned is that we can't control what other people's narratives are about us. I think that's one of the things that I've thought, like, well, I don't want like people to not know the truth. Like, I could go on this podcast and expose somebody real quick and say, this is what they did to me, this is who they are, this is who they did it with, or this is who they're, but I'm like, that's not who I
think
am.
the truth eventually comes out, you know.
Yes.
Like, there's no reason to, and just move with grace.
Yes.
And like, the people they're gonna know. Like,
I remember I was like, I'm gonna expose him. But I'm so glad I didn't do that, because
I'm like, don't talk when you're mad.
Yeah. Because then y'all gonna see me hanging out with him, and I'm gonna be like, no, that's not gonna happen anymore, for real. But yeah, like, this year just, but I also think it's from, like, not reminding myself of my own worth.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think too, it's good that, like you said, when you go through things, that you can become relatable to people.
Yeah.
Because there's other things where I'm like, oh, I would never judge, because
we listen and we don't judge.
And I think a lot of women at some point deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And men too, probably.
Yeah. I agree. But I think self-worth is an consistent action. Self-worth is like, okay, I'm worthy enough to care for my body. I'm worthy enough to not drink every day, because I know I deserve a life that is outside of this, you know? Mm-hmm. So self-worth comes in so many different ways. Self-worth is saying, hey, I'm not giving my body to just this man because he's not worthy of it.
Yeah.
You know? Or even who you even give the time to. I think time is valuable, very valuable. And that's something that I'm like, okay, who am I spending my time with? And what am I spending my time doing?
And I think even believing you're worthy of your goals, you know, like, even like when we would talk about like what we want with the podcast, like, I would feel kind of silly, like, we want this person on, and you kind of feel silly talking about it, like, what? Like, you can't picture anything like that, but believing you're worthy of it.
Mm-hmm. And actually saying like
saying that delusional
excited.
Thought. Yeah.
And be like, dude, I can't wait. Sully comes on. That was who I thought of. But, you know, like, you think like, I can't wait. And I think we say it, but we're like, one day.
Yeah.
Like, one day. But no, we have to switch the way that we say things. Is how do we expect anyone to believe in us when we don't believe in ourselves? And like I said, I've talked about the most delusional people in my life is my dad and my brother. And they literally speak like that.
Yeah.
They're like, pa, he's like, pa, un día vamos a hacer esto, vamos a hacer eso. And dude, they believe it.
Yeah.
And then they do it. But they're literally like, when they speak, they're not like, well, si esto pasa o si esto pasa. They're not like, well, when the time comes, they're like, sí, bebé, like, no, sí, like,
and they take the steps.
Yeah, they take the steps and they do their research, and they literally don't think about it. They're acting that same day. They're, you know, doing something. And that's the thing that I'm like, that is how you change your life.
Yeah.
And that is how you feel worthy of things. And I think the more that you do something that you're proud of, and the more that you prove to yourself that you are capable, the more self-worth that you develop within yourself. Because you're like, oh shit, like
I can do it.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I did do that. And if we're stuck at home not doing anything, what are we proving to ourselves? Nothing.
I had seen something too that Kanye had said that I was like, that is so true, of how, like, as kids, like I said, we're put in boxes, and like, you know, as like any little thing, they'll be like, get off the coffee table. We don't jump on the couch. Like, it's like the 4 agreements, like how we're domesticated into these people who we are now. Mm-hmm. And he was saying how the coffee table becomes, as an adult, like the thing that holds you back. And it's like, so I'm like, I think I have coffee tables that I need to like confront.
That have been planted.
Yeah, that where you're like, you don't do it because you're like, oh no, I can't, or I don't know, like we don't express ourselves just freely or act on things. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of those, and we really don't notice it until you start noticing it.
Yeah.
You're like,
until you talk about it, and you're like, wait, why have I talked about this thing forever and just
what's kept me from doing it? And I think we cracked it. The worth. We don't feel worthy.
We don't feel worthy and fear of success.
Because honestly, I don't have a fear of like being judged anymore, actually. I really don't. I mean, we post a podcast.
Yeah. Like, but I'm like, is it because we haven't got bad comments yet? Like, I think that's what I'd be like, imagine when we have that 1 million. Yeah. And then.
But at that point, if we got that many subscribers, we're already believing that we are worthy of it, or we're worthy of whatever it is we're doing is working.
But one day it'll be a test. Like, are we going to be like, I really don't care. I'm still going to, you know. But we have done good. We've gotten some comments where somebody was like, we're boring or whatever, you remember? And we're just like, we didn't even reply. I was proud of us.
Yeah.
Like.
And if you don't like it, then you'll like, that's just how I feel too. Like, but yeah, you're right. We haven't got that much negative feedback, but we haven't got that much positive either. Like, we don't get feedback as often as maybe subconsciously we want, but it is okay. Like, we are having to give each other feedback, and we're both doing this, and I am proud of us because we went from like shaking to post like, or I don't want to I would be like, let me watch it first before we up, like now I'm like uploading after you edit, uploading and watching as it uploads. Like, I'm like, it's whatever. I trust that what we're doing, we don't say anything that, and if I do say something that I'm like, oh, why did I say that? I'll tell you beforehand. But one of the biggest things was like, I didn't like how I looked on the first few videos, but now that doesn't even.
We don't even think about that no more. Really.
But yeah, I used to think like, what are people going to think when we first started, especially because, you know, being in real estate and then people know you, or they think they know you, and then you start talking about like dating and all these things. They're like, you're putting yourself in a position where people can really like be like, oh, that's how she really is. Like, cause I'm like, I'm a professional. I like, you know, like you put yourself, obviously when I'm showing myself online, it's like I post houses or I do this. And before the podcast, I wouldn't even really post videos anymore because I was kind of shy to post, like even on my story. I'd post on TikTok here and there, but not really talking as much. And being on the podcast has really just been like, made me feel comfortable with just talking. I think
2025 though, like I just can't believe, like how.
I know. Remember when we made the episode about me passing out on my birthday? My birthday's coming up. Like, that is that's crazy.
And I feel like the podcast has made me realize how fast a year goes.
Yeah.
Because we're at 9 episodes? Or
29. 29!
And I'm like, what have we talked about?
Yeah. If you're feeling like this too, like you've been stuck because you just haven't done the things, ask yourself, do you feel worthy of those things? And if you're even just hesitant about it, start working on your, like, it's literally rewiring your brain. And the way you're going to do that is by telling yourself these things every day, telling yourself these affirmations, and remembering that exactly what you said, that Jesus died for us, for you. You are worthy.
Yes. I think a good book to read to start the new year is Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
That's not real, because that's what it's really about, is your habits. And we often, like, at least we're like hooked on like the instant dopamine and everything. And it's like, no, set up your habits to where you're planning things out. Like, if you want to have a healthier diet, you know, if you have the meal plan, do that, or whatever it is to prepare you for like and that's what I need to do. I need to plan more, because I'm such a spur of the moment, or I don't know, I'm not a planner.
Like, plan what you're gonna work out
like every day. Yeah,
that's what I want to do too, is like plan my workouts for the week, what time I'm gonna go because my time changes all the time, and I'm like, girl, you a grown woman, you need to start having a set
routine.
Time. Yes. And
it's funny because as kids, that's how kids thrive too, is a routine. Like, I worked at daycare, and it would be the same time. Naturally, they don't know about clocks and time, but they knew at this time, okay, I'm getting sleepy, like I need it. And I think that's how you set up for success.
Yeah, it is. And if you look at people who are successful millionaires or CEOs, or they wake up early and they have a routine. They meditate, they go to the gym, they get their body moving somehow, but they have a routine, and that routine is there every day. And that's one of the things I was just talking about this like a few weeks ago. I was like, I haven't had to have a routine ever in my 20s, because every job I've had has been like, I've worked with my parents, so I'm like, if I'm like a few minutes late, it's okay. With real estate, I can kind of like set the appointments, and so and this is kind of bad. Well, I would have times where I'd go to the office and have that routine, but like a routine that says, okay, every day I get up and I go to the gym at this time, eat breakfast, go like. And it's going to take some time for me to really like, and to start loving it. Because I think once you do it, your body and your mind is like, oh, I love this. I love having, like, you're not waking up and asking yourself, what time should I work out today? You're like, no, this is the time I do it. And
it is true, because at one point I had a routine about the gym, and it was like, I wouldn't even be like, man, I don't feel like going. You know, at first when you're like, I don't want to go, like, eventually you lose those thoughts. You're like, oh, this is the time that I go. And it's just, you just do it.
And it helps you with your discipline, because it shows yourself that you are disciplined. It proves to your brain that you are a disciplined person, and you feel good about it. Like even today, I don't really do 6 a.m. workouts, but I did one today, and I'm so happy that I did, because I had time to literally go home, shower, and then I didn't have to worry about it for the rest of the day. And I think remembering that good feeling after is what's going to keep you going. The feeling of waking up. You know what Andrea told me today? Because I was like, it's not even that cold today. It didn't feel that cold. She's like, I stopped checking like the weather app, because that made me want to lay back in bed. And I was like in the morning, she doesn't even check the weather app. She just knows she has to be bundled up. And that is so smart, because I'm like, I'll check it and be like, oh, 20 something. I don't know about that. But she says she won't check the weather app in the morning.
I think for me, it's hard to I get up for work because I don't have a choice, but I need to look at everything like that. Like not like I have the option to do it. You know, like if you're like, I got to be at work at this time, you do it because you feel like you have no option. But I need to be like that about the gym. Like I have to do it.
Yeah.
Or anything else too. But it's hard for me to wake up in the morning. Like I guess it is for anyone, but I don't know. You different if you can wake up and work out.
If you wake up and you go at 5 in the morning.
5 in the morning.
But a lot of people also do it because that's the only time that works for them. So they're being disciplined in that mindset that is like, if I don't go by 6 in the morning, my day gets so hectic that I can't eat. You know,
and it is like once you're up doing it, like you're fine. It's just I guess the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like that's what you have to do.
Yeah, and we were talking about this because we've said this on the podcast, like getting an accountability partner. Like, are we doing it out of people pleasing? But the book that I'm reading, I need to figure out the name. I'll put it in the description. $5 at Walmart. Such a good book. And the person, the author, she's a life coach.
Oh, that's so cool.
And her birthday's June. I looked her all. I was like, I love this girl. Her birthday, she's a Capricorn, just like me. But she talks about how, so everybody has weaknesses and everybody has strengths. So whenever there's something that is our weakness, but we want it to be we want to get better at it. Like for me, one of my weaknesses is waking up super early and getting my day going. It's like, okay, let me tell my friends that do wake up early, hold me accountable.
Yeah.
I need you to hold me accountable. Like this is very important to me. And on the days that I don't want to do it, I want you to remind me how important this is to me. Or I want you to be like hard on me and tell me like, because it does matter to me. If it didn't matter to me, I wouldn't even be mentioning this to somebody, you know? But you have to have that accountability if you feel that that is your weakness. And it's okay to have weaknesses. You have strengths in other ways that I don't have them, and we vice versa. So whatever your strengths are, maybe someone else you can help somebody else with that if they ask you for it. But whatever your weaknesses are, ask for help. It's okay to need it.
I think mine is procrastination. I've always done it. Even in school, like I was a kid that like, Mom, I have a science fair project due tomorrow. Like I've always, and I don't know why. Even I was talking to my sister about it the other day of like, are you somebody who for vacation you plan your outfits, you try them on?
No.
I'm just like I throw shit in the suitcase.
Me too.
And
I'm
my
the same
sister's
way.
like, you give me anxiety, like, and I'm just like, I don't know why I'm like that.
I pack the day of. Like, I'll pack 3 hours before my flight.
Yeah, and I'm like, I mean, I feel like it works out, but maybe I would have felt my best if I actually
Took the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know why I've always, maybe it's the ADHD, but
I think we have a little bit of that.
yeah, I think I have a lot, actually.
Yeah, me too. I was telling her we need to get medicated,
Yeah.
but let's try all these things without medication. See, like, actually.
Yeah, like the accountability thing before, yeah.
But the accountability thing is like you're actually, because I think when you say you want to do something and you tell somebody out loud and then you don't do it, it's like low-key kind of embarrassing, like for yourself, because you're like, I wanted to do it and then I was not capable. What? and then I would be like, what kept you from it? Like,
Yeah.
we listen and we don't judge, but honey, why? Like, you actually, but you start, and like, you have to be honest and be like, honestly, I was just being lazy and I didn't. And then we have to remember what our life will look like if we actually do the things that we say we want to do. We need to start looking at the big picture and start thinking about our future. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think it's, so don't be scared to like ask for help.
Yeah, ask for
I think
help.
that's something I'm gonna talk to you about. Like, you need to hold me accountable with things, and just somebody who you know that is not like in a bad way, you know, like where they can be like, you said you wanted this.
So you tell me you don't care about nothing?
Yes, like get on your Zoom.
No, and I think you also need to be proud of your wins.
Yeah.
To like, okay, like if you keep up for this for 2 weeks, see what changes in your life, or and be like, wait, that was good. Like, I'm proud of myself for this. But yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with needing accountability. Like I've said this before, every person who like is successful, they have someone telling them, coaching them through their life and telling them like, you can do this. You're capable of this. What is keeping you stuck, or what is, so that's exactly, like, there's nothing wrong with needing it. Coaches have coaches.
Yeah.
Mentors have mentors.
That is true.
And if we can be that, if you have a friend that can, you and your friend can be that for each other, then do it. Like, but you both have to stand on
You have to make
business.
the agreement.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm somebody who will like, well, I don't want to bother. Like, I don't want to be, but if they ask you to do it, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember in January, I did a challenge. Do you remember when I did that challenge with Malachi? And were you in it?
No.
We did like a 30-day challenge, and we had a group chat, and we would literally be like,
Oh, about the gym?
yes, about the gym. And Malachi, he works at Taco Loco. He's so disciplined. And he would be like the one like texting and being like, so
did y'all go?
it was called Bad Bitch Boot Camp. But he wouldn't have excuses, and he wouldn't make like excuses for it.
So did you have to post like a picture?
We would have to send each other a picture at the gym every day. Oh, this is what our goal was. Gym 5 to 6 times a week. 45-minute workout minimum. No soda. Water. Try a new recipe a week. And we would send each other our recipe for that week. And then we had one where we said alcohol 2 times that month. So we knew. And we would all drink. So we all together.
Yeah.
So we knew like, okay, we're not drinking this weekend. Like,
Oh, that's good.
read 10 pages a day of a book. Journal daily. Self-love day like once a month. No vaping. And our check-in day was on Sundays. So we would literally look. Malachi said, "Lexi, I'll be waiting for that video of midnight stomping on your vape." Oh, my alarm is going off. And we literally went shopping for books together. Like, it was like that is how we did it. And you know what? We didn't even think about it. We were at our holiday party for Taco Loco, and that same day we're like, let's start literally tomorrow. We left there, went and got the book, and then we didn't have time to think about it, change the rules or anything. But
do you do good with? I feel like it's hard for me to do a lot of things at once, like the challenges.
yes.
I feel like I'll start doing them, but after a couple of days, I start slacking off in one area. I don't know. It's hard for me. I don't know what's wrong with my brain.
No, but
I mean, it is discipline at the end of the day.
I saw this thing that was like, just pick 3 goals.
Yeah.
3 goals, and you could pick something that either like
I would do like journaling.
Yeah, health-wise,
Health-wise,
mental-wise, and maybe like what else? Finances, like saving this much or whatever. Anything. Like you could pick 3 that. Look, Malachi, Lexi, did you go to the gym today? Like he was calling people out on here. But like you have to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
Like if you don't, and that's
you're gonna. I feel like you can't be defensive. Like damn, like you start turning like you forget the agreement. I guess.
Yeah. So don't start any agreements if you're not ready for that. Like
if you're not ready to be clocked.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm like I'm ready. I want to be clocked because I need to be told. Like
yeah, I do too. Sometimes you're just like, I can't do it by myself. I need the people, please.
Yeah.
I love that though. So, yeah, if anybody wants to try that for the new year,
and it could be short goals. Like it doesn't have to be. If your goal is to stop vaping, make that your goal. Like say, I'm not vaping. I'm not buying any more vapes this year. And if you think about what triggers you to vape, if it's drinking, you might have to cut down on your drinking too. Like think about those triggers that you have. And for the first few weeks, it's going to feel hard. So remove yourself from the triggers and you can do it. You just have to like try.
Yeah. There's been times where, cause I feel like I've quit too. Well, not vaping, but second. And sometimes I go back, but sometimes I am like praying like, God, please just help take the desire away. Sometimes I give in, but I'm like, because I know I don't know. I'm like, why is it? I never thought I would be like struggling to stop something, you know?
Yeah.
And then I feel like this is the thing for me, but I'm like, sometimes I'm like, pray and it works, but sometimes I just give in and I'm like, well, I guess next year I'll try again. But I mean, it's not to a point where it's hindering me too much, but it's still a goal for me.
Yeah.
For next year.
Yeah. Cause I'm like, why does this little thing, like, why do because I don't vape only when I drink. I'm like, oh, I would love to hit a vape.
Or even other things like my phone. That's another thing that I'm like, that I really want to come back next year.
And you already started doing it.
Which I already have. But I'm maybe the YouTube app because that's my main app, I think. And just enjoying silence or being in the present.
Yeah. And I think like there's so many things that we do want to do, but I feel like we gotta like really narrow it down to the main goal. What's our main goal? Like, and if at first those little things aren't really affecting, like, I don't know, like if we just need to be real about what we want.
Yeah.
And nothing will stop us from it. Not our phone. Once we get real about what we want, it doesn't matter what, like we will be, you have to really want something and you really have to put in that effort, I think.
Yeah.
Like we won't have excuses. And I think that's where we need to get clear ourselves. Like, cause sometimes we're like,
because I will have an excuse.
Yeah, me too. I'll be like, well, I don't know what I really want or what my life wants, but we have to get clear on what that life is going to look like. And even if we're on our phone for an hour a day or whatever it is, the other hours that we have, we're going to put it towards, you know, those things that we said we want and that we know that we're capable of doing.
Yeah. I just want to be aligned with my purpose, like whatever that is.
Me too.
Because I feel like I know what I want, but I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just want whatever's meant for me.
And I think sometimes we might think something's meant for us and then we realize it's not or whatever it is, but you have to put yourself out there and that's going to get you closer to your purpose. Us sitting at home, us sitting in the safety of just being shut off from the world, because I think I did shut off from the world for a little bit this year.
Yeah.
I think I did. We have the pod, and I sometimes would be like, well, we have the podcast, so I'm actually still out there. But I feel like a part of me did shut off from having a community, because I think that is important, is to have a community of people that you root for and are rooting for you at some capacity if we're going to be on social media. And I think that that's something that we haven't really.
Yeah. I think I have gotten too comfortable with being like by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And even, I don't know, like I was thinking about that lately. Like I feel like I'm fine, but I'm like, I also like being around good people too. So be more open to that. I don't know.
Yeah, we need to just do things that are in alignment with who we want to be. Because I think that, so, like drinking and stuff, we're not going to meet maybe that many people or whatever. But like even taking classes, workout classes, or painting classes, whatever it is, just putting ourselves out there.
Yeah.
With friends. I'm open to having friends. I feel like a part of me I've had friends that have done me dirty that sometimes I shut it off.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I've always, I don't know, struggled with having friends. But I think it's, when you get burned so much, you're like.
Yeah. And my thing is like, I have friends, but like close, like, or friends that I could just be like, let's go out or let's go do something. Like, I think a part of me I've had friends.
Like I've always wanted a core group of friends, you know? Like I guess Sex in the City, like just.
Like a core 5 would be so like fun to have. And I think we just have to be more open because sometimes I find myself like, because I've been done dirty before by people who I thought like were my best friends and I start thinking everyone's got out to get me. Like, are you really my friend or are you just, what do you, and I need to do better with that. Or someone will make a comment that I wouldn't make to them, but maybe they are joking. And I'll be like, are you? In my head, I'll be like, red flag. And then I'm like, is that my gut or is it just me that has dealt with either friends hooking up with the people that I used to like? Things like that really get to you. And I think it's like some form of PTSD.
I definitely have it from like middle school. I know that's the worst time. I feel like girls just do so, you know, like it was just so much like cat fight and everything. And I feel like ever since then, I've been like hard to trust people. And I don't open up a lot.
Yeah, me either. And
yeah.
Or sometimes I do open up too much. And then I'm like, why did I do that? Like, I don't really know. But
I like that quality in people. Because I like when people are like, they're comfortable. Like they're just themselves. They're comfortable to say whatever. And I feel like me, it's hard for me to open up.
Yeah, but that's one of my goals too this year is to like make the effort and put effort into my friendships.
Yeah, me too.
Because sometimes I feel like I don't. And then, or people will make plans and they'll be like, let us know if you can come. And then I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, I couldn't make it. I chose work over going because in my head, I'm like, well, I need to work. But really like friendships are important and nurturing your friendships are very important because it's good to have people, community.
You need your community. Especially when there's men out here doing us dirty.
Yes, we need to talk. If you're not talking, is because you know you shouldn't be with that person. Like, I don't know. And yesterday, I was leaving work and I ran into a friend and I was like, do you want to hang out for like a little bit? And she's like, yeah. And I would thought that was so, like, I never liked that though. Like, I'm like, oh, bye. I'm going straight home. Like, but she was literally walking out. I was walking out and I was like, do you have like, I'm like, I kind of want to talk. I kind of just want to talk. Do you have some time? And she's like, let's go. And I'm like, but you know, it just sometimes takes you asking or just, I don't know, if you're going through something, it does help to be around somebody.
Yeah.
Because when you're at home in your thoughts and you're alone, it can get lonely. And it can get dark. Like, literally dark in there in the house. But, dang, we've been...
I know, I'm like, we went over, right?
Wait, what even are we talking about anymore?
ADHD. We need to be sponsored by...
What was the podcast about?
Worthiness.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
In conclusion...
you are worthy of any and everything that you want. Literally, if you want that husband that is tall. McKelly Marone. I'm sorry, he's mine. You worthy, but I'm sorry, but he already take it, girl. I'm just kidding. You are worthy. We're all worthy of these.
I wonder what's the good Bible verse about worthiness.
You are valuable because of what you cost. As one loved by God, you have also been chosen by God for adoption as sons by Jesus Christ to himself.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the beginning?
You are valuable because of what you cost.
That's deep.
That is deep. And I think that if you're on this earth and you're listening to this podcast, you are here for a purpose. Mm-hmm. You're here, and you know it. And
like, even the chances of you being here is like, I saw something, 1 in like 600 something million, like so small. Mm-hmm. If you think about it. And even that in itself is like a miracle. Mm-hmm. So I'm like,
we have to remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's okay to feel lost, though, but don't get stuck in this loss. Like, don't think it has to stay like that.
Yeah.
Do things, and you will. The more you do things, the more you put yourself out there, the more you will find yourself and find what it is that you're meant to be on this earth. And if it's, and you're meant, even if you're sister or brother, you're here for a reason.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yes.
I hope everybody starts your new year the best way, focused, with discipline, and we'll see, I guess. I'm going to, for real, like, write out what I want to work on and make it realistic, because I do, like, overwhelm myself, I think. Mm-hmm. Every year I'm like, I'm going to do this. But I'm like, just maybe 5 simple things that I want to work on and then plan it out.
Even if we break the year down to like 3 or,
yeah,
every 3 months we have a goal or whatever, like not think like the whole year, because I think that can be a little.
Yeah, it's like.
But we have 3 short-term goals, but we have a bigger goal. Those short goals are leading towards that bigger goal.
Yeah, break it down.
Mm-hmm. We're going to do that right now after this.
Yeah.
All right. I think that concludes the podcast for today. We hope that this, if you're feeling like this, we hope that this makes you feel like people go through this. Even if we were on here speaking and it looks like we feel like we got this, sometimes there's been times where we don't feel worthy of the things that we want, but we have to start feeling worthy in order to get those things.
Because you are. No matter if you think you're behind in life or anything, like in this moment, wherever you're at, you're worthy of everything you want and deserve.
Yes. Amen. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Let us know what you guys want to see in this coming up year. We want to put out content that others are enjoying.
Yeah, I think that's another goal we have, is to plan out episodes and focus more on that this year. Because we have been very, like, spur of the moment.
Yes, we do that a lot.
But we look forward to the next year. Imagine next year, in another year, being like 2 years.
I know.
But thanks for watching, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye. We love you.
Bye.